Hey y'all!
Hi!
Hi! So, welcome back to my channel. I'm Katherine. I've been a creative for 15 years now, professionally. And today we have a special guest.
That's me!
So, introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, my name's Abby Cooper. I am a professional author, represented by Writer's House. I've published 2 novels for middle grade readers through Macmillan. Sticks and Stones was my first, and Bubbles is the second. My 3rd book, Friend or Fiction, will be available this October through Charlesbridge.
Yeah, so we will link it all below so you can see it. So it's awesome stuff. So today I have something kind of fun planned. So as you know, being creative, being an artist, being a maker, it's subjective. It's very unique to each person, and not everyone has the same opinions on things or same beliefs or has the same process.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to call this creative versus creative, and we're just each going to answer questions.
And then we're gonna fight. Just kidding.
Okay, so first question. Well, we answered like what we do and who we are. So let's do, where do you like to create?
Ooh. I like to create a little bit of everywhere. I have a home office that's very cozy. I got cushions, pillows, couches, not a lot of actual chairs, because who needs chairs, that I really like to work there. I also like to go out and explore new spaces. One of my favorite places to write is my public library. Shout out public libraries. Yes. They're the best. It really helps me to not only be surrounded by people excited about books and reading and just kind of going about their lives, it also helps me to be surrounded by books. I mean, what better inspiration for a writer? It's just inspiring just being there for me. So if I get stuck, frustrated, whatever, all I need to do is pause, look around me, take a big breath of all those wonderful bookish smells, and be ready to keep working.
That's awesome.
How about you?
When I'm creating like with my hands, with art or design, I like being at home. I am surrounded by art, as you can kind of see in this video, and you know, someday we'll do a tour of more art. However, when I am writing, I like to be in coffee shops or in a space where people are making noise and doing things. I don't know what it is about people like buzzing around. It just kind of makes you feel like you can zone in more, which is weird. I don't know. I really don't know why I need more noise and stuff to actually zone in.
No, that actually happens to me too. There's something about it. It's yeah.
I don't know. So, what inspires you?
Well, I get inspiration everywhere. That's one thing I love about being creative. It's like, I really think there is inspiration everywhere, but being creative allows you to sort of tune in to that part of yourself that actually takes it all in and observes your surroundings and thinks, oh, what could I use this for? What could I turn this into? So I'm inspired every time I leave the house, every time I stay in the house. There's always some noise or whatever that makes me start thinking, what could I use this for? So real life, just things I observe and things I'm curious about, things I'm angry about, they all inform my creativity and my work. And for me personally, a lot of the stories I write,
That's my cat,
hi,
if
cat.
you hear them.
That's not me. A lot of the stories I write have speculative elements, so I include sort of magical parts that do not exist in a real world setting. So I'll sort of take these observations of mine and pair them with what if questions. You know, what if your cat just turned into a unicorn right before our eyes? A caticorn.
Hi, kid.
Oh, she's so cute. So just kind of combining those 2 things for me is how I am inspired. Oh, this is the softest kitty, just so the viewers at home are aware.
Okay,
And you?
so for me, I love events.
Yeah.
I love to go to events. I love live music and concerts and pop culture. And so I think those are my biggest inspirations. You know, rock and roll, going to a nerdy fandom event, all about it.
Yeah.
All that inspires me.
That's awesome.
And
Just
every
seeing
day-
other people create art can be
yes.
really inspiring.
Museums?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so what do you do if you get stuck? or like the dreaded creator's block.
Yeah. This is something I get asked a lot when I talk to students in schools, because I think there's just some rumor going around that, like, if you're a professional author, you never get stuck. You are covered in the magical dust of never encountering an issue of any kind. And I hate to break it to people who might believe that. It's not true. I get stuck all the time. Most authors do. Most creatives do. That doesn't mean that we should just, hang up our pencils and go do something else forever. It means that maybe we need a break from that particular thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I find that when I feel blocked, it's usually because there's something wrong with that particular project. Maybe I wrote myself into a corner, maybe there's something from the way beginning that is kind of messing up where I am right now. So usually what I do is just kind of set it aside and I work on something entirely different, because I'm not blocked from everything. I'm just maybe having trouble with that one project at that time. And usually when I work on something completely different, that's when something breaks loose inside my brain and gives me the solution to the problem I've been struggling with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I absolutely agree with switching projects, doing something else. But I've also found, for me, creativity is like a muscle. It's just like exercising. The more you push through a block of creativity, the easier it is to do it again and again and again. And so that's
a good point.
That has been really helpful for me, is to just push through, to make myself keep going, because then I can get out of it quicker than I can if I go away from it. And sometimes it can take days if I go away from something. Yeah. But if I just force myself to stick with it, sometimes
And we talked about this a little bit earlier too. Sometimes there's a perception that, like, the only things worth creating are things that we can, publish or show at a museum or put online or something. But a lot of the time, it's just good to create for creating's sake.
Yes.
Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And there's also, in the creative community, a huge push on the side hustle. Yeah. Everything you make doesn't have to be for sale. So, just the act of making makes you a better creator, makes you a better artist, makes you a better writer.
Oh, all the time.
So, let's see. What was your childhood dream career, and are you doing it now?
Well, this may surprise you. When I was little, I wanted to be an author. I literally have so many old diaries and notebooks, so many things, embarrassing things that are now just adorable to look at. But in every single one, I was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Author. And you asked me earlier, like, oh, did other people then tell you that's not super realistic? Because, I personally never thought of being an author as something that was actually achievable, something I could really do. But when I thought about it, the answer to that is no, not at all. I was so lucky to be surrounded by supportive parents and teachers and librarians who encouraged me and told me you could absolutely be an author. So all of the, oh, that will never work, you're not good enough, blah, blah, that was just from inside myself. And it kind of took what you just mentioned to get through that. I decided I'm going to try to write a book. And it got hard, and I got stuck, and I powered through it. And the first draft was terrible, as most first drafts are. But I went through, and I revised. Yeah. And it turned out I kind of wrote a book that was pretty good. And then once I started working with my agent and then my editor, the book just progressed, and so did then my confidence. So
awesome.
now I really think I can be an author, and it's good that I think that, because I am one. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, growing up, I dreamed of being an Imagineer and working for Disney. I wanted to design the rides, the park, all the things. I did actually work for Disney for about 4 years as a graphic designer. I still dream of being an Imagineer. The dream's not gone. And I will probably live my entire life trying to achieve that. But I am a creative, which is what I always thought I would be. Yeah. And I did have parents that totally encouraged me. We always had a box of possibilities in our house, which was just a box of all kinds of things that I could turn.
Did you actually call it a box of possibilities?
A box of possibilities.
I love that.
I even have one as an adult.
Oh my gosh, That's awesome.
Yeah.
Classroom should have those.
Yeah, and so I would just turn things into whatever I felt like. And my parents were all on board. They would let me make absolute disasters of rooms in our house.
That's awesome.
And
wow.
and they were super supportive.
Yeah.
I think like you, I doubted myself. When I got into like middle school and high school, being creative, not cool, not popular.
Cool.
So I was going to be a lawyer.
Oh.
Yep.
No offense to lawyers out there.
Yes.
For creatives.
And
doesn't sound very fun.
My mom was like, oh, heck no. There will be no lawyers in this family. And so she convinced me to go to school for art.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Usually you hear the opposite of
Yep,
that.
I know.
Very cool.
So what advice would you give somebody just starting out in your career?
I think if you want to be a writer of any kind, the best thing that you can do, and this is going to sound a little silly, but it's not, I promise, the best thing you can do is write. For a lot of my life, you know, I said, I want to be an author, I didn't think it was realistic, but I also did nothing to make it realistic. You know, they say you miss all the shots you never take or whatever. So all I would do really is complain and say, oh, I'm never going to be an author. But I didn't write anything. You can't really be an author if you don't write things. And I found that once I finally said, you know what, I'm just gonna do it even if it's the worst thing in the world, I gotta at least try, right? It was like there were just all these words inside me that I'd been storing up for years that just poured out. And from there, I've been writing and I've written books that are terrible. I've written books that will never ever be published or see the light of day, and that's okay. It's okay to write books that will never get published or that nobody besides you will even ever read. Everything that you write is practice. Just like you said, everything you create makes you a better creator.
Yep.
Every word that you write makes you a better writer. So if you would like to be an author, before you start wondering, oh, how do I get published, this and that, write the thing. Write a lot of things.
Yep.
And then write some more.
Yeah, I love that. I think the advice I would give people who are just starting out in the creative career is just that. Like, don't be afraid to make work that sucks. Don't judge how good your work is based on how many likes you get on Instagram or something like that. You know, maybe people aren't responding to your work yet.
Right.
The key word is yet. Okay? You haven't made enough work to make great work. So say your work doesn't get likes on Instagram, say the piece you created didn't sell, say you didn't get hired for the job because your portfolio is not good enough. It's not good enough yet. Yeah. And so just don't be afraid to create, because writing those bad stories, creating that bad art made us better creatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool?
Yeah, bad stuff.
Okay, lightning round. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Really? I thought you were tea.
No, I'm coffee.
Oh, I should. I thought I.
Pencil or computer?
Computer!
Computer.
Although I do like pencils for some things. I'll revise it. Sorry, this is the lightning round. I'm ruining it.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs!
Cats. Fighting.
Back to the creative versus creative. Creative dog versus creative cat.
Okay, so I hope you found that helpful.
Especially that last part.
Yeah, exactly. But really, what I just wanted to show is being a creative can look completely different from another creative. Her career looks completely different than mine. It has a completely different path. She's doing completely different things, but we're both creatives and we're both working in the field. And yeah,
And we both like coffee.
Yes, we do. But yeah, it's just art and creating is subjective. There isn't just one way. And so whenever you see experts talking about things, keep that in mind, that there isn't
I always
just one way.
one thing I love about writing is that there's no right or wrong way to do it. You know, you hear.
Is that a pun?
It is now.
It is
You know,
now.
you hear people like giving general rules and guidelines, and you know those are good to follow, like spell right if you can and all that. But in general, what is the right thing to do is what works for you.
Nice. And I think we'll end on that. All right, so subscribe to her channel. I'll link it, okay?
Happy Cooper Author.
Give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and tell us about your creative journeys. We'd love to hear about it. So, all right, bye guys.
Bye.
Muscles.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I draw a picture around your face.
Anyways, so
Moving on.
also she had such a cool shirt. I had to like up my shirt game, so
I think your shirt's pretty cool. I forgot. Wait, that's okay, right?
Yeah.
What did I say to someone just starting out?